2 years, I think it's 2 years ago, about 2 years ago, Emma suggested to me that instead of doing or having people go through the stress and the strain of doing a presentation, why don't we just have Mark, you might be quite good at this, why don't you just have a chat? So Emma was my first guest and kind of set the scene for something that I think is now just taken on legs of its own and is now an integral part of the Essex networking skills. Right, so today we're going to welcome a really good friend of mine to the studio, someone who's a fascinating story. I don't know how best you can describe Sarah, so I'm not going to try. I'm going to let her do it herself. So can you welcome to the studio, everybody, Miss Sarah McKee-Harris. Sarah, welcome. How long have we known each other? 10, 12 years, pretty much since the start of my networking journey, I suggest.
Yes.
You've been a kind of constant on the networking scene because you've done some amazing things in your, obviously compared to me, very young life. Right? So we're going to start at the very beginning because it's a very good place to start. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, a little bit of schooling and stuff like that.
Okay, is this working?
It is working.
It is working. Well, this is an unusual interview. I'm normally very much focused around work, so I'm a little bit nervous actually, because like most of you know, I don't have a filter. So in terms of me and my background, personally, family originally from East London. Granddad was a fruit and veg man on Romford and Spitalfields Market. Mum and Dad met at Ford, and I'm literally the classic Essex girl. Then they're not together now, but that's where they met. And yeah, like a lot of people from London, kind of gradually moved out. I now live in Colchester. Went to school in Chelmsford. Went to lots of schools actually. Not because I was kicked out.
Tell us more. Were they all approved, Sarah?
Yeah, no, they were all good schools. Just because of like family stuff, sort of moved around quite a bit. So I've always been a bit jealous of those people that went to the same school with the same friends, and they're all now friends still. But over the years, I'm not jealous of that now, because I think it's kind of helped me learn how to just get out there and talk to lots of people and make lots of new friends. What else is there? So basically, went to primary school.
Oh yeah, but beyond that,
finally got through secondary school.
Did you leave with any qualifications, and were they important? Were you a SWAT at school, or were you not?
So I was encouraged to go to university. I didn't necessarily, back in the day, I think it was Blair, he was giving out all money and telling everyone they had to go to uni. My mum and dad are both accountants. My mum didn't have a degree, they're qualified accountants. Unfortunately, as Peter knows, accountancy missed me. My brother's also a qualified accountant. I am terrible with numbers, but luckily good with people, hence my job. But anyway, I went to university, hated it, came out of university with not the same university degree I went in with, 3 different universities later, but I got there in the end, and that's the main thing. And luckily for me, one of my favourite modules was consumer psychology, which again is really helpful now. So I came out with a marketing management degree at it used to be Anglia Polytechnic.
Did you go away from home? Did you?
No, well, kind of.
Yeah, okay.
A bit.
How far?
Well, I started in East London doing an economics and politics degree. I'm not really selling myself here, am I, everyone? Then I went to Manchester, Met, and started a marketing management degree. And then I ended up completing the marketing management degree at Chelmsford Anglia Polytechnic it was then, not Anglia Ruskin University. So yes and no. I did also go to Arizona for a bit.
Okay, now I'm really interested.
I know, this is why I was like, oh no. So I've got family in Arizona, and they said, come out to university, go to university in Arizona. I was like, okay. But being me, stupidly thought I was in love with somebody here and thought, I can't leave them. I didn't ever marry that person, and so it was very silly of me to do that. However, I wouldn't be here now if I'd stayed in Arizona.
It's all part of life's rich tapestry and journey. So you are University of Arizona, are they Wildcats, right?
Yeah, the Sun Devils.
Oh, Arizona State.
Yeah, sorry, Arizona State.
There you go.
Yeah,
Don't mix those up.
No.
You get yourself in big trouble.
No, I know. And interestingly, my son, Harry, is keen to go out to America to do his degree. So he's just waiting for his GCSEs, and then we'll stay here for A-levels, and then, yeah, we're already starting exploring that. So that would be cool.
That will be very, very exciting. Will you encourage him to go back to Arizona or anywhere but?
He told me yesterday he wants to go to Berkeley.
UC Berkeley? Oh, okay.
I was like, right, well, you better get studying.
He's had a good school though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a clever boy. This is being recorded, isn't it? Okay, I won't say what I was going to say about my ex-husband. Harry has my ex-husband's brains, and I'm very glad for that. That's as far as I leave it.
Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get on to Sarah's brain in a moment, because in my experience with Sarah, there is no filters. You're absolutely right. If you have an idea, this is my impression, you just do stuff.
Yes.
So, following your education and everything else and getting married and having Harry, what sort of crazy stuff, commercially, have you done?
Commercial crazy stuff? Well, yeah, look, I'm an opportunist and a risk taker, and at times that's done me well, at times it hasn't, but, you know, YOLO, and, you know, what I've learned is that if you surround yourself with people who complement that, it really helps. So just going back, so I fell into recruitment. Well, actually started in selling printers and photocopiers after university. Proper old school sales, like getting on the phones, got my postcode, out I went, knocking on doors, come back with my slips, went on the phones, was the only female in the sales team, obviously smashed it. Can't let the boys win. And then I fell into recruitment, which is the best thing that ever happened to me, actually. And I fell into HR recruitment. So a lot of you might know me from my previous business that I set up called Kingswood Group. And so I had a great career in London working in recruitment. I've got nothing to show for it now because the bars took all of that. But I had a great time. And I had an opportunity to set up my own HR recruitment business in 2018, which originally was called SMH Partners, which I got told by my mentor at the time was egotistic and boring. So if any ever looks on Company's House, that might be what you originally see the company as, although the people I've sold it to have dissolved that now. Anyway, that's another story. So Kingswood Group, HR recruitment, then it became HR consultancy, then I sold it.
Yeah, I mean, I've known Sarah since the start of my networking journey, 2013. You could not go anywhere without seeing flashes of purple. Normally accompanied by brownies and lots of eating goodies.
I forgot about the brownies. Yeah.
But umbrellas, and you sponsored Essex Cricket, and you're very involved in cricket. So we'll get on to what Sarah does for fun. So what does Sarah, away from business, what does Sarah do for fun?
Well, I don't play cricket, no. There's other reasons I go to cricket, and it's to sit and drink in the sunshine and network. No, I do love cricket, mainly Essex Cricket, because it's such a central hub for Essex and business. But anyway, that's by the by. In terms of what I do for fun, I love exercising. I know that's a really boring thing to say, but I used to be a personal trainer, used to teach body combat and aerobics, went to work on a cruise ship for a while.
Oh, come on.
I forgot
cruise ships. Now there's some stories. Okay.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's been a varied life. Lots of fun though. But yeah, I did that for a while. And I do exercise for many reasons. One, it's a good challenge. I've done a few marathons, and I don't like long distance running. So it takes me a while to forget about how awful it is, and then I go, oh, I'll sign up for that. And then I remember how awful it is, but I've committed by that point. But I love weight training. Exercise is good for my mind as much as anything else. I'm sure you can all tell I'm a little bit scatty, but it does help me have some time out, focus, and I've compared my training to work many times. You might have seen my pull-up sort of achievements online, where it took me 3 years to achieve pull-ups, but I bloody did it. Yeah. And that's kind of a similar thing to business, right? You just got to keep going and learning and training, and eventually you'll get there.
You said it. I think what we're seeing here is a complete example or exemplar of understatement. I just fell into this. I hate the word just, right? You don't just kind of do stuff. I think the universe has a way of dragging you in certain directions, but I know one of the reasons you exercise is to keep up with your husband David, who you got married to at
Stoke by Nayland.
Stoke by Nayland,
Yeah,
where Ross
second
was doing the
husband.
DJing
Last
that we
husband.
met a couple of weeks ago. Exactly right. So thank you, Nick, for helping in
Yeah.
that process.
Yeah.
Could you look at the audience and describe whether they were red, blue, yellow or green in terms of disc profiling, which is something that I know you're
Yes.
really interested in?
Yeah, so when I was running Kingswood Group, we were sort of primarily an HR consultancy in the end, and something, again, this kind of links back to that consumer psychology module at uni, I knew it would come in handy one day, is I love kind of figuring out, one, why people buy things, but also how people interact, and in an HR function, a lot of issues in business come about, well, people generally is number one, people is generally business's number one issue, whether that's hiring or developing or keeping. But it's a lot of the issues come around from communication, lack of or miscommunication. And so I became accredited DISC personality profiler whilst I was running Kingswood Group. And it's something I've taken on as part of Team Ambition, my consultancy. And I do work with companies, there's a couple in the room, to help them understand their teams, how to get the best out of them, how to communicate more effectively with them. I can use it to help you recruit good people. You shouldn't use it as a main decision-making factor, but it helps you identify how to get the best out of them.
Is it important to have one of each colour, or are there certain businesses that lend? I guess you don't want all reds or all yellows, or whatever that means.
Yes.
Give me an example. What's a yellow? Because I've been told I'm a yellow. Am I a yellow?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. Yeah. So my disc is similar to the colours, very similar. So I'm a dominant influencer, which means I'm a red yellow. Sounds awful, and it can be awful for some people. Yellows are very outgoing, enthusiastic. They love collaboration. So you tend to find a lot of salespeople and networkers are very comfortable, happy, strong yellows. Reds tend to be risk takers, action focused, high level information, get bored quickly and don't like detail. And then you've got your conscientiousness, which I think in the colours is blue. These guys are really good problem solvers, analytical, they love the detail, they love to challenge. Tend to find accountants tend to be very good and in the blue space or the conscientiousness. And then we have our greens or our steadiness. These guys tend to be really tactful. They don't like confrontation. They like bringing people together, harmony. So actually, yes, it's really useful if you do have a mixture of those people in the team. The new company I set up a few months ago, Keep It Simple Sales, KISS. I didn't want to go into business again on my own as a sole director. It was really hard. Actually, it has its challenges working with other people as well. But consciously, the two business partners I have at KISS, we are all different. And that has pros and cons, but I made sure that we all did our profile at the beginning and got to know about each other.
So do you have what's your level of patience for either BS or any process?
Minus.
No,
you learn over the years, obviously, about your own style and how to manage it effectively. You know, what you don't know, you don't know. So what I love about it is, look, we're all older people. We've all lived life. We've all got a good idea of what we're like. But actually, it's understanding yourself and then understanding other personalities and how to spot them and then learn how to adapt to work more effectively with them. So it's a learning process. Yeah.
So you've set up DISC, you've got Team Ambition. I know you're also involved with Aaron's network in Essex, who probably the gold standard of networking in Essex. I was just talking to Chris earlier about, that is the establishment of, are we as this little group now part of entering that realm, and do we even want to? So you work with them, you do. Don't take this the wrong way, Sarah. You're just a girl who can't say no, right? If people put ideas in front of you, you are more likely to say yes and go for it. And
yeah, and that's my personality. And we're all very complicated human beings. We're onions, basically. So we've got our personalities, but then we've got all these other things that make up who we are. So whatever reason, I generally am a yes person. I mean, obviously, if it's a really stupid idea, I'll still say yes. I'm joking. But I think if there's an opportunity and it benefits other people, I'll generally say I'll help out.
Yeah. Because that speaks to your core values, and I know kind of where they come from, and we might touch on this briefly, so I want to give you the chance to do that.
Yeah, sure. So I am very values driven, and I think most of us have our own values. You will have your own values, whether you know what they are or not. Everything I do is based around those, and do you know what? My core values is just generally just being a decent human being. For those that do know me quite well, on the surface of me selling my last business, it all sounds absolutely fantastic. But actually, in the end, it wasn't fantastic, and I hit a real low point. Personally and professionally, it's taken me a good couple of years to build myself back up. But I do come from a Christian family. I started going back to church, and it just kind of made me realise that sticking to those values is really important. So whenever I make any business decision, and my team, I'd say, how does that feel? Does it feel right? Does it sit with our values? Can you sleep at night? And if the answer is no, then it's not the right thing to do. So, and basically just be decent to each other. There's no need to be horrible to each other. There's enough business to go around. Even if you're in the same field of work, there's still, I'm a massive believer in collaboration. I think in the small business community, and I absolutely love the Essex small business community, because we're all so supportive, we're all really entrepreneurial, we all want each other to do well, and we're stronger together, especially in this economy. So,
yeah, absolutely perfect. Round of applause for that. I think that's exactly what we should be doing. So, the kind of last questions: personal and professional ambitions for the next few years. Have you identified those yet?
So, I feel really grateful that I've been able to get back to where I am now, doing something that I love, that I feel really passionate about, helping other people. So for right now, it's kind of rebuilding and growing something great. Long term, my husband is desperate for me to become a good golfer. I know Joe is an excellent golfer. I took up golf as literally to grow my business with Kingswood Group, and had many hundreds of pounds spent on lessons. I'm still an awful golfer. My husband wants us to retire to Cyprus. I'd love to do that, but he wants us to retire on a golf course. So I do need to practice more. Terrible, so bad. But it is a great way to network. So if you don't play golf, it doesn't actually matter if you're rubbish. Just don't ask to be on the team where everybody wants to win. Just be really honest about it. Professionally, I will never stop working. I take after my mother. But it just, I think it's just assessing actually what that looks like. So yeah, I think eventually I'll just kind of focus on the consultancy and working with people on a one-to-one basis who I want to work with.
There you go. I don't think we can ask for much better than that. We've got time for one or two questions if anybody wants to pose a question of Sarah before we have breakfast.
I think I remember you saying you'd recently been diagnosed ADHD?
ADHD.
Yeah, so I'm going through that process. My son was diagnosed ADD a couple of years ago, and it's made a huge difference to him, and I'm actually really jealous that he's 15 and got that sorted already. Yeah, it definitely runs in the family. My mum just keeps apologising to me, but I was like, don't worry about it, Mum, it's done. It has its, I do think that has great benefits, and you do find a lot of entrepreneurs are neurodiverse, but it also makes you very exposed to burnout, definitely. And having been through it, I don't even say the word burnout, but I think most people can tell, based on what I've said, is you just have to be really aware of it and just try to rest and surround yourself with good people. And yeah, I think embrace it, but also be aware of the situation it can put you in. So yeah.
Anybody else? Well, if we won't force it. Sarah, it's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks very much. Sarah McKee-Harris, everybody.